Welcome to episode 47 of Oscar Sunday. I'm Austin Johnson.
I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
And it's actually Oscar Sunday.
Woo!
It's the 93rd Academy Awards are happening later today. If you're listening on Sunday, hopefully you are getting kind of geared up for the biggest day of the year as it for the Oscars. And of course, on this show, this is the first Academy Awards that we've been able to kind of cover.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of talk about, because this show started in June of last year. So, you know, this is our first kind of live reaction to what's going on. And I know on Sneak Preview tomorrow, we will be doing a sort of a recap of the actual Oscars. But today, on Oscar Sunday, figured we'd have a little bit of fun. What do you think about that? You know, I think you and I have done so much legwork to get to where we're at with all these episodes, 47 in now. And this is a culmination in a way of a lot of watching, a lot of kind of evaluating, and I'll let you kind of speak about your experience, you know, after I explain exactly what this is, because I know you watched a shit ton of movies the past couple months for this project. What we're going to do today is a 2010's Best Picture swap, and what that entails is, for example, we'll go to 2010. We're going to, you know, discuss the nominees, discuss the winner. We're going to pick a movie that we would take out, and then a movie that is not nominated for Best Picture from that year and put it in. And then after that, we'll say what should have won. And we'll do that for every year from 2010 to 2019. That'd be obviously last year, Parasite winning. 2019 would be that's the year we'll end with, because we do not know what's going to happen today. And I can't wait, but I'm, you know, I want to keep it to history here. That's what we focus on Oscar Sunday. So Connor, how many movies do you think you watched the past couple months for this?
Oh, okay. So when we first decided to do this little project, I didn't think it would be fair if I hadn't seen all of these films, evaluated them properly. So I had some homework to do. Between 2010 to 2019, there were 15 Best Picture nominees I had not watched. So I fucking watched them. I found them.
Yeah.
I rented them. I borrowed them. I bought them. I watched them.
Yes.
And yeah. I liked most of them. There were only a handful I did not enjoy, but it was so gratifying getting to, you know, kind of finish this puzzle and clear out a decade of Best Picture nominees for myself. That felt very rewarding in the end. And capped it off with Les Mis, so went out with a bang.
Oh God, fucking Tom Hooper, Jesus. Yeah, we're going to talk about him for sure. Yeah, man. I know, because you borrowed some of the movies from me. I know you were just on this hunt. You know, I only had a couple to see. There wasn't a whole lot of work I had to do, but I was with you in the way, in spirit, because I rewatched a lot of movies from this past decade, a lot of Oscar nominated movies, a lot of films that I hadn't seen in a while, or maybe had only seen once. I'll definitely point out some of those that I have a whole different opinion on. And that's why we do what we do, right? It's the power of rewatching and reevaluating and kind of sharing your thoughts on it. With that being said, I want to just dive right into 2010, the 83rd Academy Awards. This, of course, is when The King's Speech took home the big prize. For me, you know, I said Tom Hooper is going to be brought up. Here he is. He's, you know, a guy who's famous for making some good films and then Cats. King's Speech is just a film I remember seeing in theaters, and I dug it, you know, for what it was, dug the experience, but I haven't, you know, gone back to revisit it very many times. And it's one of those Best Picture winners that I don't see as one that has like a momentum still.
Yeah, it's true. But it is good movie. It tells a wholesome story about, a time where England really had to pull together to make it out of this. George VI didn't want to be king, didn't ask to be king, but his idiot brother, his idiot Nazi sympathizer brother, Edward VII, wanted to marry a divorced American. And the crown was like, the fuck you are. And he's like, oh, the fuck I am, abdicated. And now this stuttering guy's like, I'm in charge. Oh no. I like that movie.
Yeah, I like it. I just yeah. And you know where my heart lies here. I'll let you start though. What movie would you take out of this 83rd Academy Awards Best Picture group?
Well, now that I can confidently say I have seen all of these films, and
yes,
I can make an educated choice here, the film I would absolutely remove from this group is Winter's Bone.
Yeah.
That film was so dull and pointless, and the rest of these films have something to offer.
Yeah. No, I have the same. my takeout is the same as you. This is a decent group of films, and there really is. I agree with you. I think this is the clear weak link. It's fine. Jennifer Lawrence is fine in it, but it's not a Best Picture nominee type film. Whether you care or not, there just like comes some sort of expectation, and it just doesn't meet them. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. What about what film would you put into this group that's not there?
This is interesting because I'm very excited to see where you went on these, because I think we went to some similar places a couple times.
Possibly, yeah.
With 2010, there were some solid films. One particular film I think deserved this slot, and it's The Town.
Oh, good pick. Good pick.
Up for
one of the best heist movies of all time. Yeah.
Up for only one Oscar. Jeremy Renner, Best Supporting Actor, did not win. Should have been up for way more. I think an argument could be said that it's Ben Affleck's best film as a director. And
it is.
Yeah. It's a bitchin' heist film with a lot of heart, and you don't see that a lot. You don't usually relate to the thieves. And I like that. I like that this film kind of makes them everybody a little gray. And they're all fantastic. I think that movie's like stellar. I don't know why it did not get more recognized.
Yeah, it's pure gold. Yeah. The Town's great. That's a movie I thought about for sure. And it would be so cool if you took Winter's Bone out and you put that in. The Town just spices everything up, it's so dedicated to itself, to its own genre, to its own craft, Ben Affleck took that so seriously. And for that reason, the movie's like still so watchable today, you just throw it on now and you're like, just get locked in. It's a fucking wild ride. Yeah. Good pick, man. Good pick. Good start. The film I chose is a bit maybe in the same tone as Winter's Bone, as far as just kind of a bit slow, but I went with Blue Valentine. Derek Cianfrance's 2010, romantic, just heavy movie starring, Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams. In particular, those are the two people, right, that stand out, and you just kind of take away these, in my opinion, kind of Hall of Fame performances. Michelle Williams was up. She was nominated that year. Ryan Gosling was not, but I really think Blue Valentine has a lot more to offer. Of course, Derek Cianfrance is a guy who's, gone on to make Place Beyond the Pines, and then most recently helped work on Darius Martyr's Sound of Metal. So the guy's just a fucking superstar, in my opinion, and I love Blue Valentine. I definitely would love to have seen it in this group, but it is not what I think should have won. And I want to have that conversation as well. Now that we have Blue Valentine for me in the group, and for you, The Town, what film should have won at the 83rd Academy Awards?
Oh boy. This is a very good group, all solid films. And of course, I have my own personal biases, but if we're talking best picture of 2010, a film that, I've often said best picture represents the year. It represents the best that this year had to offer in cinema. And for me, that film is True Grit.
Oh, whoa, what a pick.
Jeff Bridges reunited with the Coen brothers for this epic Western tale, and a film that holds up, I think, better than anything in there. It's a fantastic rewatch, full of heart, full of life lessons, and fantastic performances. And I would have loved to have seen that walk away with Best Picture. 10 nominations, walked away empty-handed.
Yeah, shit happens. I mean, Chinatown, one of my favorite Academy Award winning movies of all time, just got that one win off 11 nominations. Shit's annoying, but it happens. Yeah, you know where I'm going here. This one's obvious, maybe the most obvious out of all of them, to be honest with you. It's got to be Social Network. This movie means so much to culture. People have kind of just latched onto it year by year by year. More and more people are like, holy shit, this movie's awesome. And I'm of course biased towards Fincher, but this is not my favorite movie of his, but it could be his best. This along with Zodiac, these are just, he's in a totally different realm. And you have what's really in play here is the duo of him and Aaron Sorkin, right? Is that is when Sorkin is working with a director, because he's not the greatest director, as we've seen. He's good, but not the greatest. When he's working with a guy as fucking cynical, as fucking meaty and grimy as Fincher, as a filmmaker as Fincher is, just takes Sorkin to the next level. And when you get to have the walk and talk and all of these kind of Sorkin tricks within a Fincher world, it's just absolute dynamite. And I see it as one of the strongest movies of the decade. I've heard plenty of people say it is the best movie of the decade. On plenty of lists. I think I had it somewhere in like 6 or 7 on my list when we did that. Like, I don't know, what was that, like a year and a half ago? Fuck. I love this movie. I find it to be Oscar worthy, but also a movie for the people, where it's just fucking lightning entertainment, or it's a 2-hour just beautiful piece of art that doesn't miss a beat. And so I firmly believe that it should have won here. True Grit is a great call. I would have that in my top 3 for sure. I also think Toy Story 3 deserves a shout. Capped off, at the time, not now, but at the time, capped off what we thought to be one of the most effective trilogies of all time.
Yeah.
And then it goes ahead and throws a 4th in there, which is just as good as the rest. And so I really think that movie would be somewhere, in my top 2 or 3, along with True Grit. And then I think Social Network is the dog that should have won.
I find it very interesting that we both went to our respective comfort zones with this one. You went straight to Fincher. I went to the Coen brothers.
Yeah.
And
yeah. There's something to say about that for sure. Yeah.
I would also like to shout out. So for my particular journey, I watched for the first time 127 Hours, Black Swan, The Kids Are All Right, and Winter's Bone. But I also rewatched Inception after 11 years of thinking about it. And I have not enjoyed that movie for 11 years. I watched it this time, fucking loved it. So I love, the importance of the second watch cannot be stressed enough. In my opinion.
I totally agreed. Especially if you see a movie like Inception that has this cultural just like pop right when it comes out, and it just gets, it just has all this stuff around it. And then you, like you said, 11 years go by, and you have a whole different look on Tom Hardy, whole different look on Leonardo DiCaprio, and all these different actors and actresses. So it's really cool to kind of be on that journey, right? I definitely think a lot of these movies in particular in this group, you just have to rewatch them. You just do. I think Black Swan is one of those. I love Black Swan. I think it requires a couple watches to really kind of reckon with it. Yeah, it's an interesting group. Yeah, I kind of knew where I was going. I had a feeling you were going True Grit, but I didn't know for sure because you also watched a lot of these for the first time. So that's the power. That's the power of the game. You want to move on to 2011?
Why not?
Let's do it, man. The Artist took the big prize here, and I remember watching these with my brother and a couple of his friends, and we were just kind of like, "What?" just real confused, you know. At the time, it's still a part of me, you know. I had seen Moneyball in theaters, and I was just kind of like, "What?" Like, this is the perfect American movie, Moneyball, you know. And it didn't make much sense, and to an extent, still doesn't make sense now. But 2011, I'm really curious to hear what you would take out of this group. I know you feel strongly about some, and then you like really don't like some. So let's hear it.
2011. Films I watched. I'm going to do this the whole time. The films I watched for the first time: The Descendants, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, The Tree of Life. The rest I had seen.
Oh boy.
There are some incredible.
It's coming, isn't it? Oh boy.
There
Jesus,
are some remarkable films in this group, but I absolutely fucking despise The Tree of Life.
Oh, I knew it.
Yeah.
Did you write a review for it? Did you?
Yeah. I was.
Yeah, I haven't read it. I did not want to read it. Yeah, because I didn't want to. I didn't want to have my hopes and dreams shattered. What is it? A 5? 4. Oh boy. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Oh boy. How do I say this without hurting your feelings?
No, honestly, if you want me to say it up before, there's nothing you can say because this movie gets completely shattered by people. And Letterboxd, if you like this movie, do not get on Letterboxd. Do not go down the rabbit hole of reading the reviews because those people are not kind. So whatever you say, I've heard it before. There's nothing that can take away my love for this movie.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do something I've never done before on any of these shows because I feel like the only way I can do this effectively is to actually straight up read my review.
Oh boy. All right, here we go.
4 out of 10. I've always known that Terrence Malick's films weren't going to be my cup of tea. Everything I've heard about him and his style of filmmaking screamed pretentious auteur. But I don't like chastising films and filmmakers before I actually see the work. So I watched The Tree of Life. And I can now accurately say Malick is a total ego stroker who thinks his films can answer the greatest questions of the universe. What a crock. This film is like a Family Guy joke about pompous artsy films come to life. There's nothing of value to be found here if what you seek is entertainment, which I believe to be the cornerstone of movie making. Brad Pitt and Jessica Chastain are pretty good for what they have to work with, which is virtually nothing. Just a stereotypical white bread 50s dad who angrily imparts life lessons on his future sociopath kids while 50s mom just stands aside and cries. Also, Sean Penn pops up a few times because this is a Malick film and he's contractually obligated to do so. The worst part is there's a great family drama trapped in Malick's grandiose vision. You can't use the origins of the universe and the birth of life on Earth to explain why a dad in Waco beats his kids. And to claim that you can just makes me detest everything about you as an artist. The Tree of Life is a colossal waste of time for anyone who seeks to be entertained. Flashy images of space and time mean nothing if you can't back it up with substance. I'll never enjoy art films. They just reek of a filmmaker who is consistently up his own ass and unaware of it. The only redeeming quality of this film is the family drama that could have been, and Pitt and Chastain's performances for what they were. But this is not my kind of movie.
Well done. Brilliant writing. I kind of knew that was gonna happen. This is one of the movies you borrowed from me, huh?
Yeah, I knew like for years I was gonna hate this. I knew it, and I was right.
I've watched this a handful of times. First time I watched it was around when it came out, and I was bored, very bored. And then I watched it for a second time and like wept like a goddamn child when I watched it the second time. And then now, I was one of the coolest gifts of all time. My mom got it for me, Criterion, the one that you borrowed. I love that case. I love that. I love owning that. Shout out to my mom for getting me that. That was really cool. Malik is one of my guys. And, and he's him and, I would say him and Lynch are the two fundamental guys that we just totally differentiate on. We just disagree.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about those two guys is, especially the Tree of Life for Terrence Malick, is there is no something for me to back up on and like kind of, well, what about this? With the movie like Social Network, you could have said, no, the story is shit. And then I would have thrown stuff back at you. No, actually, this is why I think the story is really good. With the Tree of Life, you mentioned it multiple times in your review. It's an art film. It's not your cup of tea. That's what it is. And for me, it is my cup of tea. It's like one of my safety movies. Like that one. There's another one that I'll bring up later from 2017 that I'll save that one for later. But it's another like very much a comfort movie that I kind of just go to. Moonlight is that way for me for sure. There's some down this line that are kind of that way from this decade, where if it's on, I feel very, very comfortable and I feel very okay in my own skin, sort of thing. Kind of takes anxiety away. I love when movies do that, when you just are able to just kind of drop. There Will Be Blood does that for me big time. That's the PTA movie where I just kind of, there is nothing I'm thinking about except for this film, and I love when that can happen. The Tree of Life is one of those. And so I understand that's, I'm guessing there's not another movie that you have lower than 4. I'm guessing that's the one you would take out.
Yeah.
Can you guess which one I would take out?
Knowing you, I would guess Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
No, that one's okay. I think that one's decent. I think there's one here that's just criminally overrated, and I think it's The Help.
Second guess.
Yeah, this movie's just jibber jabber to me. It's not much good. I think the performers are doing their best, but I do not like the tone of this one very much at all. So that one was kind of easy to me. I think Warhorse is fine. I think Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close is fine. Hugo's decent, and then I like the rest. And then there's a couple that I love. Obviously, Tree of Life, one of them. But yeah, The Help was the one that I've seen that recently too, and I just was not impressed, and just kind of boring to me, and kind of a weird tone.
Fair enough. I get that. In regards to Malick, we're never gonna agree on that guy. I'm okay with that.
I'm gonna keep trying. I'll keep trying. I think you got to start with his small stuff, with Badlands and Days of Heaven 70s stuff, because it's so much shorter. Badlands is like an hour and a half. Days of Heaven is like an hour and 40. And I think they are more story driven and more your style. Tree of Life, Knight of Cups, it's just not your shit, man. It's just not.
It's like I'm eating a 5-course meal that I don't want to eat, but you paid for it, so I have to.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean, man. But hey, you're going to do it eventually either way, right? I mean, you want to watch all the Best Picture nominees, and it was one. So.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
And I like that we can have that discourse. You can love the guy, I can hate the guy, and we can just still have the conversation. I like that at least.
Yeah. No, that's all. It's all subjective. There's nothing. There's nothing like set in stone.
Have we found yet a filmmaker that I adore and you despise?
I don't think so.
We'll get there.
Well, I mean, despise is strong, but I'm not a Tom Hooper fan. If you are,
I'm a 3 out of 4 Tom Hooper fan. King's Speech, great. Les Mis, I liked. Danish Girl, I liked. Cats, the fuck. What happened?
Yeah, not for me. Yeah, we'll get to especially one of those in 2012. we'll talk about it a bit more. So you would take out Tree of Life. I'd take out The Help. What would you put in that's not in the group?
This was a no-brainer for me. This is a film that I adore, and I could not believe it only received one nomination, and the film is Warrior.
Oh, good pick. I did not see that coming.
An epic brother versus brother struggle for acceptance and glory, and it is an amazing drama featuring three incredible performances from Tom Hardy, Joel Edgerton, and Nick Nolte, and underrated as hell. I don't think enough people know about that film, and I cry my eyes out every time I watch it. It's a family favorite in my family, and it should be here.
I like that. That's a cool pick. Yeah, that's why I wanted to do this fucking project. I love shit like that. The Town and Warrior. Let's fucking go. Of course, my tone is a bit different here. I'm going with another wicked heavy drama. This time out of Iran. A Separation. Won Best Foreign Language Film of the Year and was nominated for Best Original Screenplay, but you couldn't give it a Best Picture nomination. How dare you? You know, you can sleep at night putting The Help in there, but you can't put fucking A Separation, one of the best romantic dramas of the whole decade. That's for sure that I've seen. You know me, Connor. I fucking seek these out.
Yeah,
this is my game. I like faces. This movie is fucking, if you're in for it, and if you're in the right mood, it's a like life altering kind of movie. Because of when you love movies, when you like really really love movies and you watch them all the time, and something like this, you're just kind of like waiting for it, but you don't know it, and that's one of the best feelings in the world for a true cinephile, someone who really loves watching movies. And I know you're in that boat. I think this movie in the right setting, I think will just kind of blow you away. With that being said, I also think it should have won this Best Picture. Put it in the group. Also take the win. A Separation, 2011 out of Iran. So yeah, I think that's just a fucking mistake that it's not there.
Yeah, you've been speaking about that one for quite some time now. That's a film I'm going to have to just take a look at, because I've heard nothing but amazing things about that from all sorts of areas. And I know it's going to be just fucking heart-wrenching. And
yeah, it's tough as nails. Yeah.
For me, as far as the win, it's close between Moneyball and The Descendants, but I'm going to have to give it to Moneyball.
Yes, that's my second pick in this group too. Moneyball, just still a gem.
It's perfect. It's a fantastic watch.
The Descendants, though, you really, after the first watch,
I fucking love Alexander Payne. I don't know what it is, but that guy is such a great dramedy writer. Every film I've seen of his, apart from Downsizing, has been wonderful. And especially The Descendants, something about, Clooney and him combined just make a very realistic dramedy that is half hilarious, half, sob story. And I enjoyed it very much. I found myself just like sucked into that one. And for a first time watch, that's always a treat.
Yeah, dude. Oh, and I was waiting for, I just imagine your reaction to when Robert Forster just fucking lays the smack down. You gotta love that heat check performance from him. And yeah, and Shailene Woodley's really good in it. The movie's strong. I like that one a lot. Speaking of Alexander Payne, I was just talking to my mom. I was saying I really wish Sideways would have won in 2004 over $1 Million Baby. That would have been badass. Love that shit.
I want to revisit Sideways. I watched Sideways years before I saw anything else by Alexander Payne. I just remember thinking this was really funny, but I didn't know why. And now that I've seen The Descendants and Nebraska, and now I can revisit Sideways with a whole new light, and I know I'm going to like it even more.
Yeah, dude. That's exactly right. You go into take one, keep taking one at a time, then eventually you start understanding a filmmaker's whole language. So cool. So Moneyball and A Separation. I love both of those. That's definitely my top two from that year for that I think should have won the award. 2012. We're moving right along here. This is a fascinating year. There's a lot of movies that I really like that are not really here in this Best Picture group. So this was very difficult. But Argo won the Best Picture. This would be the 85th Academy Awards. And Argo's fine. Argo's good. It's entertaining. It's it's not amazing to me, but I've rewatched it. I've kind of had some conversations here and there about it, but you don't want that kind of feeling when you're talking about a Best Picture where you're just kind of like,
yeah, it shouldn't be, that was all right. It should be mind bending. And my biggest issue with Argo is how, the whitewashing and the cutting the Canadians out of the credit and just like kind of messing the true story up to make America look like the hero. It makes it fucking propaganda. And I don't like that.
Yeah. Not Ben Affleck's best work. Yeah.
No, but the film that he got mucho credit for.
Yeah.
For me, my first watches on this one were Amour, Beasts of the Southern Wild, Life of Pi, and Les Miserables.
Jesus Christ. all
heavy
the
shit.
Strange ones.
Very heavy shit.
The strange ones of the bunch. Yeah, man. Well, let's go ahead and dive in. What would you take out?
So there were two films here that did not resonate with me. Amour and Beasts of the Southern Wild. And it was really of course.
Because I love those two. Not love, but I like both of them. Yeah.
Am I that predictable at this point?
But so am I. Yeah. At least we both stay true to our character.
At least, yeah. But I had to toss it up, and honestly, Beasts of the Southern Wild had less to offer, in my opinion. That film is so fucking weird, and
yeah,
I was not expecting it to be like a fantasy drama, whatever the fuck it was, and I was bored. I was confused. I was pissed at times, and I just was like, "Why is this here?" Amour was just boring.
Really well shot, though. Really well shot, though.
It is. Oh, it looks beautiful, and the performances are great. But he's kind of like the husband's kind of a bad person.
Oh yeah,
for the way he handles this situation, it's hard to relate to a guy who's just like, "Fuck it, I'm doing it my way." Like, it's a rough movie to watch, and I feel like it didn't need to be as long as it was. It could have been trimmed down significantly. It was just, filming hallways for the sake of filming hallways. And that's where we get into artsy territory. And I start, drifting away.
Start looking at my phone and stuff. Yeah.
And Life of Pi, a very artistic film, did not do that. I was drawn into that film and stayed. So I don't just hate artistic vision. I just don't.
No, I know that. Yeah. And Life of Pi. Oh boy. Now, but within that, it always has backing it up this just wild kind of playing field of this boy on this little boat with animals. It's just fucking fascinating. You can kind of do anything with that, and I'll watch.
Also, does anybody have a more varied and creative resume than Ang Lee?
That's a good conversation. Yeah.
The films he's done are so all over the map, but all like fantastic. Crouching Tiger, Brokeback Mountain. Like, he just doesn't stop. Life of Pi, even like Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. I enjoyed that. Hulk, I didn't like, but it's there.
He did it. He did a superhero movie. Yeah.
It's just, you can't nail that guy down. You can't pigeonhole that guy in any category. He just does whatever he wants to do, and I respect that.
Yeah, same. Yeah, the guy's a legend as far as we're concerned. So Beast of the Southern Wild. Yeah, I see that. It is pretty all over the place. I like that one though. That one's just kind of interesting to me. I would take out Les Miserables. um, oh
I really
boy,
don't like Tom Hooper.
no, I really don't. King's Speech is solid, but this yeah, Les Miserables, not for me. Danish Girl is okay. It's okay. I don't know. I don't really ever think about these movies. I don't really ever like, oh, Tom Hooper's filmography. Here we go. I don't feel that way. And Les Miserables, just looking at this group, there's some movies I like, but I'm not really in love with this group of films as a whole. I think it desperately needs something to shake it up, like desperately. And there's a movie that's just there, just sitting there. Maybe Paul Thomas Anderson's best movie ever, The Master. It's there. Just put it in this group. It would make everything make sense. If you took out Les Miserables and you put in The Master, I just think it rounds out some of the stuff going on so nicely. I would have loved to see him and Tarantino in the same Best Picture group. That would be really special. And just frustrating as hell.
I knew you were going with The Master. I nearly went there myself, but
yeah,
it's a great movie. But I was something else caught my eye, and I remember thinking like, why didn't this at the very least get a screenplay nod? And then the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, you know what, this deserves the big prize. 7 Psychopaths.
Oh, I love that. Love that call. We just did In Bruges not too long ago.
Yeah, Martin McDonagh's second film. And one of the weirdest crime comedies I've ever seen, but a top-notch film about really at the heart of it, filmmaking and how difficult it is it's a film about writer's block, ultimately, just how hard it is to come up with a good story. And, good stories are happening all around you. It's a solid film. It's so funny. And I think it deserves a spot here.
I love that. I love that call. With that being said, what should win?
Of this group, including the one I picked, there's one film here that is a 10 to me, and that is Django Unchained. I think that film is so brilliant and unflinching in the way it depicts slavery in a way that most American films do not do. And you add that to like a solid screenplay and fantastic performances, and I would not. It's not like the Tarantino film that I think should win Best Picture, but I would have been cool with it.
Yeah, well, that's not, as we both know, doing a lot of this research and looking at categories constantly, you realize that that's just not in the nature of the Oscars. They're not always going to be able to give out Best Picture to Pulp Fiction, always like hit it right on the nose, because there's other competition each year. And I see what you're saying here. Like within this group, not thinking about Tarantino, oh, this is the only Best Picture win that a film of his has gotten. You're just looking at this group and which one is the best.
Yeah. And
for you, I figured you'd go there, Django Unchained. And you probably know for me, I would choose the one I chose. Is The Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a damn shame that movie just kind of got missed. Philip Seymour Hoffman and Joaquin and Amy Adams, all three doing pretty much some of their best work. All three of them, right? Yeah. I think this is the Oscar Joaquin Phoenix should have won, not Joker. I think that's. I don't even think that's weird to think.
No.
I think it's very clear Joaquin is doing some very, very special stuff in The Master. And then, of course, the man himself, Paul Thomas Anderson, is kind of at the peak of his craft, just dominating exactly his own vision. At that point, has the ability to do these things with the camera and know that, you know what, I'm probably not going to make money off of this movie in the long run, but I'm going to do this because I put myself in the place to do it, because of Boogie Nights, because of Magnolia, because of Punch Drunk Love, and There Will Be Blood, so on. All that work he put in, just sticking to his craft, he eventually just got to do one that was totally for himself. and have this Lancaster Dodd character. Like, he's been wanting to do that his whole life, right? And I think The Master is, of this year, is the one that has impressed me the most as time has gone on. And so I think it should have won, but Django's a great pick. Crazy movie.
I think one of the biggest mistakes in Oscar history is not at least nominating Leo for his role as Calvin Candy. I mean,
fuck. So that's a great point, right? Leo's got his nominations, got his win for The Revenant, but it's like, is that really his best work?
It's right here.
Yeah.
That Calvin Candy is a scary motherfucker, and Leo disappears. Like, I don't see Leonardo DiCaprio in this film.
Yeah. My favorite Leo performance is last year. He should have beat Joaquin, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's fucking dynamite in that movie. I think we're just going to look back and be like, oh shit, was that the best thing Leo ever did? Shit.
In regards to The Master, I think that, that only got the 3 nominations for the 3 actors, right? Those were its only nominations.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
I think that PTA pissed off the wrong people with that film, doing a film that's like not too subtly about Scientology in Hollywood. That's going to upset some people. And I totally get why that film got shut out. Like, somebody lobbied hard to get that film ignored.
Yeah. That's why it's so awesome. It's totally got Citizen Kane vibes going on. It's a masterpiece. It's a fucking masterpiece is what it is. One of the coolest movies from this year. And you said you knew I was going to pick this. I thought long and hard about Frances Ha.
Oh.
Frances Ha is a breathtaking kind of film, and I could watch that one over and over and over. And I thought about it for a long time, but The Master to me is just too strong of a film overall.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's there's some good selections here. 7 Psychopaths is a film that is very dear to my heart because it's one of the films that, like, I would joke around with my friends in high school, and I almost got in trouble for quoting it in class once. That was funny. I yelled, "Fuck the cops," and a teacher happened to be walking by, and I did kind of explain myself out of trouble. So 7 Psychopaths is very dear to me.
That's so fantastic. I love that. Yeah, man. I anytime you get to shout out, what we just did, like I said, episode 41 in Bruges, we got to really dive into that movie, and and dive into Martin McDonagh's kind of filmography. So yeah, anytime you get to bring that shit up and talk about it, please do. It's good stuff. 2012, yeah, that's an interesting bunch there. I think we both agree that Django's quite strong, and that Silver Linings Playbook had no business being in there. What do you think about that?
I don't know if I kind of like Silver Linings Playbook. That's another family favorite of mine. My family loves it. We watch it every Thanksgiving, Easter, whatever, Christmas. Whatever holidays in that movie, we watch it then. And,
it's fine. When I watched it most recently, I was like, this is not a Best Picture movie. Like, I don't know. It's entertaining, but it's not. It's something I would just watch kind of like on TNT, it feels like. Not so much a Oscar Best Picture nominated movie. I don't know. But it's fun.
I got my own problems with David O. Russell. And
that's exactly it. We're about to bring him up again right here in 2013. Man, oh man. Yeah, David O. Russell is exactly the thing about it that I'm not totally on board with.
Yeah, he's a brick. And
and I think he's sloppy as fuck. Yeah.
I don't get why people keep working with him. Like, he's got a reputation for just being a complete crazy son of a bitch. It's wild. I mean, Clooney had to slam his ass to the ground so he'd stop harassing an extra. But
what a douche.
How has he not been canceled?
I don't know.
Yeah, Silver Linings, I think, is decent. I like the way it portrays mental illness as not something to avoid, but just something to deal with.
Yeah. I was kind of joking. I was seeing what you thought about it. It's fine. Again, Les Mis is the one I like the least, but it's just a weird group, weird ass group.
What is it about Les Mis that you don't care for?
Oh, I think it's for the same reasons you don't like a lot of movies I like. I think it's too self-indulgent, very long, like way too long. And some of the singing is fucking atrocious. Like bad. And I can't do that when it's a long ass musical and some of the singing isn't good. I get very frustrated.
Yeah, I'm going through, Oscar Sunday and seeing some of these films, Hello Dolly and whatnot. Oh, you're not a musical guy.
No, it's got to be very, very unique, very specific, and very, a Sweeney Todd, a Rocky Horror Picture Show, just something that very much knows what it is. Yeah. And some of these kind of bigger adaptations into film, like, you mentioned Hello Dolly, they just don't work for me, like as pieces of entertainment, because they're mostly just boring to me. Yeah.
Fair enough. I just watched Les Mis for the first time yesterday, so I'm not going to defend the film in the slightest. So yeah, I get it.
I know some people who really, really dig it, including both my parents. They're very into musicals and very into this. They thought this movie was amazing.
Yeah.
And I get it. But for me, I just kind of check out. It is not something I want to just kind of throw on and rewatch like ever, That's my biggest thing with Best Picture. I want the movie to last. I want it to be something people can hold on to. We just did the American Beauty Best Picture Showdown, the 72nd Academy Awards. We just did that on episode 45. And for everything we talked about that involved is around that movie. It still is a good movie. To this day, I like when that happens. We did The Apartment. We did Kramer vs. Kramer on the Best Picture Showdown. So those movies are still good. They still hold up. They still make sense. They're still totally accessible and something I want to have on right now. And that's kind of big for me with this category and this award.
That makes total sense. Yeah, that's a very, longevity is super important to that film, especially the Best Picture winner. It has to be something that is significant to film history. It's not a throwaway prize. It's a film has to be deserving, or else we're going to keep talking about it in a negative light forever. Dances with Wolves, Crash, that just it's never going to stop.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, 2013. Here we have a winner. Here we got 12 Years a Slave took home the big prize at the 86th Academy Awards. 2013, fascinating year. What would you take out of this group? And obviously state what you saw for the first time if you did.
Yeah. My first time watches here were Dallas Buyers Club and Nebraska.
Okay. Nice. Would you take one of those out?
Oh, no, I would not. This is a very tough year. All of these films are fucking great. And that sucks because I don't want to take out any of them. They're all great, but I had to go with something. There's something here that's just a little less great than the rest of them. And unfortunately, that is American Hustle.
Yeah. Okay. I don't like this movie. I own it and I've watched it 15 times, but every time this isn't even good. This isn't even good. What am I doing? What am I doing with my night watching American Hustle again? I don't know. Amy Adams is good in it. She's fine. Bradley Cooper has no idea what the fuck he's doing the whole time. Christian Bale is giving it his all, but this movie falls so flat for me. What is it? It's sloppy as fuck. Doesn't know exactly what story it wants to tell. Louis C.K. comes in with a heat check, just what the hell was that? Crazy movie that I just this is the one I would take out for sure, man.
For me, it's just I haven't wanted to go back and I don't remember it that well. American Hustle didn't, didn't stick. The rest of these films are, unforgettable, really. Let's see where.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. You go down the line, and I mean, you have Tom Hanks killing it, Matthew McConaughey killing it, Alfonso Cuarón in his element. You got one of Joaquin Phoenix's best performances ever. You got Alexander Payne back at it. Philomena, probably the most unique movie out of the group, and then Wolf of Wall Street, a Martin Scorsese Leo mashup. Yeah, I mean, this group is really cool. I just think American Hustle has no business being nominated for Best Picture. No business. Like if this were back before 2009 and you were just doing 5, like it just would get nowhere near to me the best 5. There's just no way. What film outside of this group from 2013 would you put in?
If you had a million years and a million guesses, you never would have guessed this film. Because I didn't even guess.
I love this.
I was looking through my letterbox, which has been fucking useful as hell for this project, by the way.
Yes, it has.
And I was looking at films and nothing was really clicking. Everything was kind of like, yeah, it was good, but does it deserve to be here? And then I stumbled onto a film I remembered watching on Netflix a long time ago and thought, holy shit, I still think about this movie. And it is 2013's Blue Ruin.
Whoa, excellent choice. I love it. I love that.
Yeah, it's like a prototype Coen Brothers PTA movie, like in training, about a homeless guy just trying to do right by his family. It's a remarkably fast-paced, quick film that is wildly unpredictable and haunting. And I really think this deserved, it's an indie film that deserves so much more attention.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Blue Ruin, my selection.
Excellent choice, man. Oh, wow. I did not think that I would be able to geek out on Jeremy Saulnier for a couple minutes. The guy, my man, does Blue Ruin in Green Room, 2013, 2015. What the fuck do you want, out of a back-to-back directorial efforts? Great pick. I had no idea you were gonna bring this one up. Blue Ruin, like you said, is kind of a genre bender and kind of reminds you of all these different directors that Jeremy probably loves, just like we do. And that is the shit. Also, I'm backing up just more of what you said is the hour and a half runtime, just clean cut, bam, bam, bam. It's just a movie's movie. Great pick. That would spice up this bunch very nicely. And anything to get American Hustle out of there. So yeah, I love that pick, man. That's really cool. I for a second thought you were going to choose the same movie I chose because you said you watched on Netflix. I also watched this movie that I'm putting in on Netflix. This is a movie that got totally shut out, right? And I love that we can bring films like that up. I think it's one of my favorite things to do is find movies that don't have Oscar nominations because there's so goddamn many,
Yeah.
This is not. I think now is a popular opinion to think that Ryan Coogler's Fruitvale Station is one of the strongest efforts from 2013. Just a devastating movie. Also, totally on top of what it wants to do. Right, it's a biography. Like a biopic about Oscar Grant in the last day of his life, and is shot like someone who has been running to filmmaking for like years. It's like someone who is just on this hunt to make something that's going to last. Another, like Blue Ruin, it's an hour and 25 minutes, this movie, but it punches you harder than anything from 2013. An absolute must, right? Absolute must for Coogler fans, for Michael B. Jordan fans, and then an absolute must for fucking, people. So those films that kind of break the entertainment wall and then being like, holy shit, you need to see this. This is important. There's important films for people to watch to get an understanding of, to grasp situations, right? Amazing stuff from Michael B. He should have been up for Best Actor. Coogler should have been up for Best Director. This movie should have been up for Best Picture.
Yeah, won't argue with that. That's a powerful film, and a great selection for sure.
Hell yeah! What do you have after putting Blue Ruin in? What do you have winning from 2013?
This is tough. 12 Years a Slave is a great movie, but it is for me a one and done. I have no interest in seeing this again simply because it is such a rough watch. But does that, I don't know if that takes away from its, its gravitas.
Its power. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think like what here spoke to me the most. And I got to go with my gut, and I have to give it to Philomena.
Awesome pick. Take it away. Awesome pick.
That movie was so upsetting. And it's I think it's Judi Dench's greatest performance. And just a woman who had so much dark shit happen to her, but refuses to let it mess with her outlook on life. To still remain upbeat and optimistic after all that. And finding the child that the convent took away from you. It's a devastating story with an ending that just kicks you right in the fucking stomach. But there's this enduring sense of optimism that you can't escape. That even though this happened, she's going to be all right. That everything's going to be all right because we can learn to love each other again. There's just it's like a palate cleanser almost. And I think it would have been really, really sweet to see that win. But I totally understand why 12 Years a Slave took that Oscar. There's no, I'm not going to argue against that. It's a great movie.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, this is the one out of the whole decade, everything we're doing here, this is the one I really thought about the most. Was this group? Which of these movies has lasted the longest? American Hustle, no. Captain Phillips, pretty entertaining, but no, not a winner. Dallas Buyers Club, not a winner. Gravity, I like Gravity. Her, I like Her. Nebraska, really good, but also not a winner to me. Philomena, I see a lot of what you're saying. Wolf of Wall Street, definitely not a winner to me. 12 Years a Slave is the right answer. I think that's... as crazy as it sounds, I think the Academy got it right.
What?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I actually think this decade they do okay.
Yeah.
It's not the 80s. It's not as bad as the 80s. This 12 Years a Slave, I hear you out on not wanting or desiring to rewatch this, right? Because the story is, it's a long movie that's just kind of take over your whole day. I understand that. I also understand someone who's like, I can't stop thinking about it though.
Yeah.
Anytime I see Lupita Nyong'o, I'm thinking of Patsy. Anytime I see Paul Dano, anytime I see whoever it is that pops up in this movie, Brad Pitt, for fuck's sake, pops up, Michael Fassbender. It's just a crazy, crazy cast. And at the helm is the man, Steve McQueen. And that guy who's on the, on the wave of writing, making Hunger and Shame and then 12 Years a Slave. That's his first three, fucking feature length films, and just kind of knocks it out of the park right away and makes this. Here's this British guy coming in and making this just fucking masterpiece American movie, absolute breathtaking stuff from all sides. Performances, directing, some of the screenplay is just fucking ridiculously good and scary. And this movie, even though it's not a one that you want to throw on all the time, might not be as quote unquote entertaining as like American Hustle. It definitely packs a punch that you kind of remember. So I think there's some validity to that, especially when you're in a special group like this.
Yeah, all good points. I agree. I think what holds me back, it's a great movie, but just knowing the aftermath, like historically, what happened to Solomon after 12 Years a Slave and how the movie really doesn't address that. Like, this man did not have a happy ending of any kind. Like, within a few years of him getting back to his family, he vanished. like likely either, killed by, slave masters who hated that he got away, or was kidnapped again. Like, who knows? But the fact that the movie kind of avoids that, I thought was a little dishonest.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think finding a way to end it with some hope after such a just muddy, rough go of it is nice, because it reflects the small, glimpse of hope that someone like his character has throughout this time. Very, very tough though. I hear you. I hear you on that.
But by leaving out the truthful ending, that hope becomes false hope. And that's
yeah,
not
if you
good
don't
for
know,
anyone.
yeah, if you don't know the end, yeah, you're right. Yeah, if you don't have that prior knowledge, which I'm guessing most people don't when they're watching the movie,
Fair enough.
then yeah, you don't know. Because yeah, I think if like you and I were watching it today, we know this is kind of foreshadowing. It's just kind of, it's temporary hope until, and that would have to be a whole nother movie.
Yeah, and there's just not enough known about him to make that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a solid film. The performances are fantastic. The story is solid, and I won't argue against it getting Best Picture. I've just got my own, minor hangups.
Yeah, totally fair. I think her and Gravity are the two that are closest to me choosing out of this group. But Gravity's a little too. I understand why someone just wouldn't like it at all, And you don't really want a Best Picture to be not accessible to everybody, which is why I didn't vote for like the Tree of Life, because that's not something everybody's going to enjoy, and it's not going to last like that. And I think Her isn't like, not everybody is going to love that either. So I don't know. I think 12 Years a Slave is a movie. If you watch it, you get through it that one time, there's no way you're not going to be impacted in some way.
Gravity is great on the big screen for the first time, but after you know what's going to happen, the movie loses a lot of punch.
Yeah.
And, the smaller the screen gets, the less, extravagant it becomes. So I get why Gravity's kind of faded away a little bit.
Yeah.
Dallas Buyers Club is the film I'd go to next. Honestly, I thought that film was very well put together. I liked the story. I liked watching a homophobe grow. I thought was very rewarding. Watching him kind of realize that we all have worth and we're all fighting our own battles. Like, it's good to be reminded that people can change.
Yeah. I like that movie. I own that one. I've rewatched it a few times. It's solid. It's solid. I definitely like it being in this group. Same with Nebraska, man. Nebraska's solid as hell. I like that it's in the group.
Yeah, me too. 2013 was a great year. It's like all those films, for the most part, are solid movies.
Hell yeah, man. Let's move on to the year of Birdman, 2014. Awesome movie. I still love Birdman. I think it's great.
It's wildly entertaining. It gets better every time I watch it.
Yeah, I just kind of have a smile on my face. Michael Keaton's the fucking man. What would you take out of this group?
So this was the first Oscars where I actually started paying full attention. So
yes,
I watched all of the nominees prior to the show and was like, I'm gonna bet this. Like, I'm gonna focus now, because that 2014 is the year that Caleb and I started Filmgazm.com.
Yes.
So all of these films are very rewarding in their own way, but I think American Sniper is dishonest, and I'm gonna take that out.
Same. Get that shit out of here. That noise. What's up with movies with the first word American here? American Hustle, American Sniper. Clint Eastwood, dog. One of your worst efforts, my man. This movie, no good. Just no business being here.
Well, again, it's fucking propaganda. It's, taking an American story and just pumping it full of red, white, and blue bullshit until we see nothing but the truth. And, it's an obscured truth, and I don't like that. I don't like when we do that. And we do that all the fucking time.
Yeah. Garbage. It also is just a waste of Bradley Cooper, like his talent, and I wish he was in something else. But he also I'll take that back. That's silly, and I do that too often, because with that we get a relationship between Bradley Cooper and Clint Eastwood, and I know that Clint Eastwood had a heavy impact on him going out and being inspired to make A Star Is Born. So to go ahead and kind of take that director's chair. So I'll take that back a little bit, but this movie's just not good.
Yeah. When I went to see it, it was a loaded house full of Texans.
Well, yeah, we're in Texas. Yeah.
And I didn't know who Chris Kyle was, so I had no loyalty to the man.
People wear t-shirts of him. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the Punisher logo was, oh, they're a fan of the comic book. No, that's been collected like way the fuck. I don't like that at all. But
no,
the more I learned about this man, the more I learned that this guy was unstable and bragging about some dark shit. And I don't think we should be glorifying him in a biopic that makes him look like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, American Sniper. Like, what the fuck?
Why are we celebrating that? That's a fucked up brag.
Yeah, so with that being said, what film from 2014, which is just a year that you already spoke about being the year of Filmgazm kind of coming to life, and then you and I believe it's episode 8 of Oscar Sunday, we did Whiplash. So we kind of dove into 2014 and we were both just like, we're in love with this year.
Yeah.
We're in love with this one. So what would you put in?
This was a no-brainer. This was the first film I wrote down. It's the film that finally made me kind of pay attention to the way I was writing reviews and think about like, I should be saying more, a paragraph is not enough. And so Caleb and I saw this in beautiful 35 millimeter. And Interstellar blew me away.
Yeah.
I think it's one of Nolan's best films. I think it's my favorite Matthew McConaughey performance, apart from The Gentleman, which stands alone. And it's a beautiful movie, very involved, but in a way that you can still follow it. I think it's a very human-driven sci-fi story, and I love those. And Hans Zimmer's score is fantastic. The screenplay's solid. Nolan's direction's on point, and I think it's fantastic. So Interstellar should be here, in my opinion.
That's a great shout. I knew you were going there. Yeah, it's a massive movie for Filmgazm as a whole, and one of Nolan's best for sure. Good shout. Of course, mine's a bit different here. This is a feisty year. And there's a couple films that immediately jumped out to me. One of them being Gone Girl, David Fincher's awesome movie. And then Nightcrawler, which I think is also a very strong film. But I wanted to bring something up for conversation's sake, something that I think is just not here enough is foreign movies, right? I talked about A Separation, won Best Foreign Language Film for 2011. I wanted it to be in that Best Picture group. French movie written and directed by Celine Sciamma, Girlhood from 2014 is the film I would choose to put into this group. And I know that's really unrealistic and that was never going to happen in 2014. Her third movie after Water Lilies and Tomboy. But I think that's part of the problem with the Oscars is those kind of ideas we have of what an Oscar movie is. Those are the things I would love to see torn down. I think this year there's some predictability, like for the 93rd Academy Awards today, but there's also some films that are surprising that aren't typical Oscar movies, like Sound of Metal and Promising Young Woman. I like seeing that happen. Girlhood is a French film about a girl really just trying to find her way after kind of being defeated by her environment, a few individuals in her life, but then she meets some individuals who inspire her and she becomes kind of a part of their group. And I mean, when you find solace and you find fucking friendship and family, there's no telling where it will take you, right? And what lengths you're going to go to. In Girlhood, as much as I love Boyhood, I think Girlhood just does that on a crazy scale, and is my favorite movie by Celine Sciamma. She also, of course, did the very well received, well reviewed Portrait of a Lady on Fire from last year. So she's a very talented filmmaker, and I wish more movies like this, foreign, small, whatever it may be, were just represented more, and that's whether it's unrealistic or not, that's just kind of why I want to do the project, is to kind of shout out movies that I wish could break through that kind of barrier. And yeah, this movie is really special to me. It's really, really, really strong.
I've heard you talk about a lot of different filmmakers over the past year, a lot of people who you've discovered. And the summer's coming up, which means I'm about to have a lot more free time. So I'm thinking maybe I might have you make me a list.
Dangerous.
Just so I can understand where you're coming from on all these guys. Because I would love to be able to say like, oh yeah, I love that about this movie. So first, for conversation's sake, I think I'll do that.
Well, yeah, these are ones that I obviously feel intensely about. You've heard me bring up A Separation, I'm sure, multiple times. It's one that it's kind of to me like a Marriage Story, like on steroids, Yeah. So like you thought Marriage Story was tough. Silly. Shit's child's play compared to Asghar Farhadi's A Separation from 2011. And that's the shit that of course I'll always try to ask you to watch and see if you like. Yeah.
Well, and I'm trying to kind of build up more of a foreign film street cred as well, and experience a lot more, different cultures, cinema. And I'm doing a decent job, mostly through horror. Thank you, Licio Fulci. But,
yeah.
I would like to, check some of these films out. And yeah, I think it's worth the effort.
Yeah. Always. And, that was pretty much why I kind of signed up for Criterion, was to have some access to more foreign movies that are not just one genre, but all genres. And I've been very, very grateful for that. And Celine Sciamma is, totally someone that I think you would dig certain aspects of her filmmaking. Same way you I kind of pushed you to watch more Yorgos Lanthimos. You just find shit you like and find shit like Dogtooth that's not as not as easy. No, yeah, that's one of my favorite guys for sure. What should have won this year? Maybe we're on the same page here.
As much as I love Birdman, this was Whiplash's award.
Yeah, come on, not quite my tempo for sure. Whiplash is the best movie from 2014.
Hands down, it's the film that's lasted the longest, the film I've revisited the most, and one of my favorite movies at this point.
Same. It's probably my top 10 movies of all time, top 20, somewhere in there. I mean, it really is up there. The isolated feeling you get, with our character, with Miles Teller, just really underrated performance at this point. And of course, we all know JK is just knocking it out of the fucking park as Terrence. So yeah, Whiplash is kind of, I think, one of the things that you and I figured out early on in our friendship. Oh yeah. You like Whiplash, I like Whiplash. We're gonna do it on Oscar Sunday. We did it early on because it was the first 2010's movie we did, because we're just kind of big on it here at Filmgazm. Awesome movie. Yeah, that one's easy. Anything else on 2014?
I really enjoy a lot of these films. I'd like to just kind of shine a little bit of spotlight on The Theory of Everything.
Okay.
I've seen that movie 4 times now. I've never not cried.
Wow.
Such a touching film. And Johan Johansson's score is what does it for me. I mean, Jesus Christ. Eddie Redmayne does an incredible job as Stephen Hawking. And just seeing that man's life and what he went through and what he accomplished is mind-bending and incredibly inspiring. I think that movie is criminally underrated, and I adore it. Same with The Imitation Game. I throw that right up there too.
Yeah, well, if we'll be here all fucking day if I start talking about Wes Anderson or Richard Linklater, Boyhood or Grand Budapest Hotel. So let's move on to 2015.
Okay.
I really could. Those two movies are very strong, and I know you feel delighted about Grand Budapest Hotel, but I could really go on forever about the two guys. 2015, Spotlight wins, just a spectacular movie. Awesome stuff. This group, I like everything in here. There's, to me, not really a weak link. I had to kind of narrow it down to a bottom 2, and even that was very hard. and then I just flipped a coin. How did you go about taking one out of here? Because this is so difficult.
Well, the my last first time watch was Room. The rest of the years I had seen everything.
Yeah.
And that's a haunting movie.
Yeah, good Lord. But so good.
So yeah, I'm with you. I thought all of these films were good. But one film I just didn't like a little bit, or I liked a little bit less, and that's The Big Short.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I found that film very hard to follow because I don't have an economics degree and I don't understand how that works. So I thought it was not very like translatable. I know they tried, but I was lost big time. And, to put that in perspective, there was a film that came out in 2011 called Margin Call that had a similar story, and I was able to follow that no problem.
Margin Call is badass.
I really liked that movie. But Big Short, despite, I love Adam McKay, I love Steve Carell, Christian Bale, Ryan Gosling, Brad Pitt, all these guys are fantastic, but the movie is really dull, in my opinion.
Interesting. I like The Big Short. I think it's okay. It was not one of the ones in the bottom two for me. The bottom two consisted of The Martian, and the one I would take out is Bridge of Spies. There's no way I'm taking Brooklyn out. There's no way I'm taking Mad Max out. No way I'm taking Revenant or Room out. And Spotlight, I think, is fantastic. So it really was super hard. I think all of these are at least an 8 for me. As far as Filmgazm ratings go, all at least 8 out of 10. But Bridge of Spies is the one I've kind of, I guess, thought about the least. I don't know. This is tough, though. Really tough here to choose one.
Bridge of Spies, I get, directed by Spielberg, written by the Coen brothers. It should have been a lot more memorable.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's my main thing is I probably had too high of expectations, but like you said, it's Spielberg and the Coens. So how can you have too high of expectations?
Exactly. Like I'm going in expecting a masterpiece here.
Yeah.
And I get a good movie. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
And fair enough on Big Short. I get that. 2015. What would you put in here? This is a very interesting year.
This might seem a little predictable, but I don't care. I am who I am. And, Inside Out.
Oh, that's not predictable. I had no idea. I knew we've talked about that one. I knew you, I spoke about, I remember I saw that at a drive-in theater, not that like a year ago when COVID first started. I didn't know you were that into it.
I fucking love Inside Out. That is one of Pixar's best films. I think it's one of the maybe the smartest script they've ever produced. It's the way they handle emotions, the way they show how a child goes through those, developments mentally was so smart and so heartbreaking. And it stayed with me. I adored that movie.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. That is a wonderful pick. Yeah. And I actually wrote it down, crossed it out, and I wrote down Sicario.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm not going to argue that.
Oh boy. Sicario might not even be my favorite Denis Villeneuve movie, but it should be here in 2015 because it's one of the best 2015 movies. It's just a fucking like edge of your seat type movie, like the whole way. And I think this group, if you could add something to it to kind of rival with Mad Max, I think Sicario would be kind of a cool counterpoint to it. Denis the man. He's, as far as I'm concerned, the guy hasn't missed yet, and I cannot wait for Dune. But Sicario might be his best overall film.
See, I've only seen Sicario and Arrival, so I don't have a lot to draw from yet.
Blade Runner, dog. Blade Runner, Prisoners, Enemy. Yes.
Prisoners and Enemy, I want to see. Blade Runner, I'm hesitant because I'm not a Blade Runner fan.
Neither am I. But I love 2049. Blade Runner 1982 is whatever, is kind of is fine, but Blade Runner 2049, yeah, Denny just at the helm, way better movie.
Fair enough. But Sicario is such a cool movie, and I hadn't, I went in with no expectations on that one. I didn't know who the hell Denis Villeneuve was. I barely knew who Emily Blunt was. And I walked away from that thinking like, fuck, that was cool. And yeah, it's fantastic. I wish that had been there as well.
Yeah, man, straight up. And what should have won at the 88th Academy Awards?
Spotlight is a good movie, but like 12 Years a Slave, it's fucking hard to watch. And
yeah,
that's important to me. A movie that like rewatchability is big for me. And I get why that won. It's very significant, but I think this should have gone to The Revenant.
Fair enough. State your case. I can't argue.
That is one of the most gorgeous films I've ever seen. Alejandro had a hell of a 2-year back-to-back with Birdman and The Revenant. And this film is so perfect. It's just like, it's a tightly, what's the term? It's like it's a Swiss watch. It's just, everything has to work when it works. And I love it. It's his Kubrick film. And it's rewatchable as fuck. It's so entertaining. All the performances are fantastic. The ending is satisfying. Watching this dude go from getting ripped to shreds by a bear to like nursing himself back to health is fucking crazy. And I love the long, uninterrupted shots. And I just think it's the most well-constructed film of this bunch.
Yeah, I can't argue that, man. I think the strongest point of it is Alejandro and Emmanuel Lubisky, who are the cinematographer. Those two guys did Birdman together, did The Revenant. We talked about Gravity. That's the cinematographer of Gravity, working with Alfonso Cuarón. Also worked on Children of Men. Yeah, the guy is a fucking, one of the best ever. He's on the same, plateau as Deakins. Like, the guy just knows exactly what he's doing. And I think The Revenant, right from the get-go, if you saw that movie in theaters, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You just see spears just flying from, panorama view, and you've never seen a battle scene filmed quite this way. And it very, very effective movie. And while it's not my favorite Leo performance, I am glad he has a win. And it is a good performance, that's for sure. Very strong, but I just love so much of his other work. I agree with the Academy on this one. Spotlight. You mentioned how I think I'm just finding a key difference here. I've rewatched this movie so many times. I don't know why that I find it to be just this place I can go to. I think every performance is so spot on, and every like bit of dialogue is hit right out of the park that I'm just simply watching amazing filmmaking, and kind of craftsmanship. And so I've just sat and watched Spotlight many times, and I think Mark Ruffalo is doing some of the best work he's ever done in that movie. I think Michael Keaton's doing some of the best work he's ever done in that movie. Rachel McAdams might be the best thing she's ever done. Awesome performance from her. Everyone's like locked in. You got real survivors in some of these scenes telling some of these stories. You got Stanley Tucci just fucking knocking it out of the park every time he's on the screen. Everyone's on board. Everyone's on the same page. And for that reason, I've been able to just kind of watch this over and over. And I think they got it right. I think Spotlight's a super strong movie. But I can't argue against The Revenant or Mad Max for that matter.
Maybe I need to watch it again. Maybe Spotlight. I liked it. There's certain subject matters that I find very difficult to revisit, just because know it's real, it happened, and it's sick.
Yes.
And I just knowing that in the end there really was no justice, because all they did was move those assholes to other parishes.
Yeah.
And there's never been any, it's the same problem with 12 Years a Slave. It's just knowing that nothing changed. Like, there is no optimism here. Like, it's a rough watch for me. But that's just me.
Yeah, man. You never know. Rewatching a movie can always change something or validate something. You just never know. And with Spotlight, for me, it's something that I can talk about with my two older brothers. We're all three big fans of it. We just kind of have this, like, we'll do some of the Boston accent, spotlight, like that's something that we do. It's a movie that we're very, very fond of. I saw this in theaters the same day. I did a double feature. Fucking 20-year-old me. This is where my mind was at. I saw Spotlight and Room back to back at the Bijou here in San Antonio. Yeah, brutal day. Room is fantastic. Awesome stuff from Brie Larson. Totally cool with her winning that one. Yeah, this is a good year. Good year. Like we both said, it was tough to pick one to take out.
Yeah.
And Spotlight, the one that won, is a good movie.
God damn, double feature. I hope you got a milkshake afterwards or something happy that day.
This is what me, man. I do this. This is like I inject it into my mind, my body. Like I want to watch everything, whether it's dark or not. Yeah, which is why I fucking put Sicario in here. Crazy dark movie. 2016. Oh boy, my dear Moonlight, the winner.
We've actually we've done this year as a full Best Picture showdown.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this one in depth.
Yeah, episode 35. Yeah, we did. We went super in depth. If you listen to the episode, I have kind of a undying love for Moonlight. I think it's one of the strongest winners of all time. So for me, I would take out Lion. I'll get straight to it. I think it's really good, but I just have to pick one. This group's strong.
I agree. This group is strong apart from one film, and that is Arrival.
Interesting. Not Manchester by the Sea. I thought you would take out Manchester.
Manchester it's got a little something. It's got the performances. Arrival has nothing to me. Arrival
I like
boring as fuck for wrong reasons.
Damn it. I love Arrival. I think it's wicked interesting. And Amy Adams is awesome in it. Reminds me a bit of Interstellar. I'm just fucking with you. Just to lump it in with sci-fi. I'm not going to do that. No, I understand. Arrival has a strange pace.
It does. It's just, I thought the promotion, the promoting of it, the trailers was very dishonest in the way it kind of built it up to look like more of a mystery, more of a thriller. And I was just bored out of my fucking skull. I thought it was I was waiting for something to happen and nothing ever happened. And I don't like when nothing happens. At least Manchester by the Sea, something fucking happened eventually.
For sure. So yeah, some things happen. Yeah. That's great. Oh, but man.
The rest of these films are great.
Yeah. You like you said, you had seen all these for episode 35. We did all that.
Yes.
What would you add here out of 2016 that's not there already?
Oh, this is I'm interested to see what you think about this. A film I went in with very low expectations and emerged thinking this is going to get this guy's career back on track, and that is Split.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting call there. I did not see that coming.
I think Split is a balls to the wall, terrifying movie that features maybe the greatest performance in 2010, maybe, one of the greatest performances in film history by James McAvoy. I mean, 30 plus different characters, all very distinct personalities. That is incredible. And he makes this film super tense, super frightening, and brilliant. What happened? M. Night comes out of the woodwork every 20 years or something to remind us he's a great filmmaker, and then he disappears again. I don't know what happened. We get a Sixth Sense, we get a Signs, we get Unbreakable, we get Split, and then he fucks off. But this film was so good, and I will stand by it. I think that McAvoy should have won Best Actor for this, and I think it should have been up for picture and screenplay.
I like it. I like it a lot. To be honest with you, I thought you were going to go Civil War here.
Oh, no. I love the Marvel movies. None of them deserve to be up for Best Picture.
None of them.
None of them.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I like that split call. That's really interesting. I was totally thinking you were going to introduce Marvel to us here on Oscar Sunday. Damn. Okay. Fair enough. So like you wouldn't put Civil War in over Manchester by the Sea?
If I got 2 picks,
Maybe.
maybe.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I love that game. I love just kind of seeing how far someone goes, right? Like what's the criteria? For me, I went with something that I think got missed. Someone who has gotten missed multiple times throughout his career. Jim Jarmusch, fucking awesome filmmaker, and I think Patterson from 2016 is one of his best. Probably my favorite Adam Driver role so far. Very subdued, very subtle, and very very patient performance from Adam Driver as Patterson. Plays a bus driver. And this movie got quite a slow pace to it, but to me is very entertaining in its intricacies and its attention to detail. And Jim Jarmusch, is a guy who definitely does that. Is very very keen on getting his vision exactly what he wants it to be. I rewatched this movie just to kind of make sure I was feeling the way I was feeling about it. And I feel stronger about it actually now after having watched it a second time. And then I also watched not too long ago Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai. Jim Jarmusch, maybe my favorite Jim Jarmusch movie from 1999. Just fucking bonkers. And I love being able to pair those things together as you're kind of watching something for a podcast. You're like, oh, I'll go ahead and latch this onto it so I can get extra background info, extra knowledge, extra street cred. And Jarmusch is the man. And I wish he had more Academy love, but it also makes sense that a filmmaker like him just wouldn't care. Patterson's awesome. Yeah, should be there.
So sorry to deflate the mood here, but I've never seen any Jarmusch.
That's okay. I think Ghost Dog is the one you should start with because I think you're familiar with Forrest Whitaker, right? Watching him in this kind of one-of-a-kind role from his career could also be a way of watching it. Not just I'm watching Jim Jarmusch, I'm also watching Forrest Whitaker in probably his most unique role ever.
That's the one. Like my dad is a big fan of Ghost Dog. My uncle is a big fan of Dead Man. He told me to check.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I like. I also like Broken Flowers. Stranger Than Paradise is awesome. That's 1984. You would love that. But Patterson's, one of my favorite out of all of those.
Yeah. Well, there's another, there's more summer homework.
Jimmy.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a pretty dumb question on my part, but what do you think should have won 2016?
La La Land. God damn it, Warren Beatty. Moonlight, Yeah, I think they got it right here.
Of course. I think I made back when we did the Moonlight episode, I think I made the case for Hacksaw Ridge, and I'm going to stand by that. Yeah,
you definitely made the case for Melly Gibson. The Hacksaw Ridge, Andrew Garfield, awesome performance inside that. I think we had a lot of fun going down those movies that year specifically, right? I just think Moonlight is the one that personally, this might not be the case for most people. I just have gone back to it so many times purely for comfort and to see amazing filmmaking. It's like, oh, here's a movie I know exactly what I'm getting, which is awesome stuff. A guy who knows exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah, I got no beef whatsoever with Moonlight. It's a fantastic film. I'm glad it won Best Picture. And
so we got there was a time when the Academy went 12 Years a Slave, Birdman, Spotlight, and Moonlight as winners all in a row. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty cool. I would say they went on a run with a couple there that I'm not as big on, but then they came back around with Parasite. So all good.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Anything else you want to talk about? Any of these other nominees?
Hey, there's 2016 movies. Any Hell or High Water, one of the coolest Texas movies. But yeah, no, I think we could just guide our listeners to episode 35 if you want to hear us talk about 2016 in detail.
Sounds good.
2017. Shape of Water takes the big prize home here. This group's okay. I think as a whole, I think it's missing something desperately. It wasn't that easy to take something out, but I'm just kind of neutral on some of them. So, which one is the weakest link to you?
This was easy for me. I was not a fan of Lady Bird.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forget. Yeah.
It's just, I've often spoke about my issues with coming of age films and how I just don't find teenagers that interesting. I find most of them insufferable. And this was one of those cases where I'm just like, why? Like, just do what you're supposed to do. Like, why are you being so difficult about all this shit? I was not relating to her at all. I was more like, just feeling bad for the mom having to deal with this shit, which means I'm an old man now. So
fair enough. Fair enough. I like Lady Bird. I wouldn't take Lady Bird out. I like that one. It's not the best by any means out of this group, but I think it's a decent flick, and it's quite entertaining. And I think like 10 years from now, I think Lady Bird's gonna be fascinating because you got Lucas Hedges, Timothée Chalamet, Saoirse Ronan, all these cats in the same movie, and they are obviously on their way to just superstardom if they're not already there. The movie I would take out is Timothée Chalamet's horse over Call Me by Your Name.
Really?
Yeah, this one just doesn't work for me very well. I think it's quite dull. I know it's kind of seems interesting to hear me say that about some of the movies I like, but I think Call Me by Your Name is trying to say some stuff that doesn't really know how to. Mostly just didn't know exactly what kind of story I was watching when it ended. And I either want to know what story I'm watching or to be thrown into an abyss and have no idea what's happening. So Call Me by Your Name kind of slips in the middle of that, and I'm usually not in the middle. I either want off the rails Malick or Lynch, or fucking straight away easygoing Scorsese stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Well, a big part of this is that this is supposed to be the first of 3 stories. Call Me by Your Name.
True.
So that could be part of it. I actually really liked that movie. I'm a sucker for a good love story, and that movie just made me. It was really sad, and that song "Mystery of Love," I love that song.
Solid. That is solid. Yeah, there's some good moments. Timothy's really going for it a couple times.
Yeah,
but and Sufjan Stevens, is the fucking man, and there's some cool music in there. But yeah, overall, I don't know. And I'm not saying Darkest Hour is the greatest thing ever or anything. This group is just kind of neutral to me overall.
Yeah, fair enough. I liked pretty much all of these except Lady Bird. I mean,
I liked them, and I liked Call Me by Your Name, but again, just not really not writing home about it. You know what I mean?
I totally get it. I think it was a very strange choice by the Academy to give Shape of Water Best Honors. I think that's a very oddball film to go with for Best Picture. Has not aged particularly well, I don't think.
No, not at all. What would you add? Like, what's a movie that maybe has aged well to you that you would add to the 2017 group? Because there's a lot here. When you look on Letterboxd, it's kind of crazy.
This may surprise. I think this will probably surprise you because this is one of those I did not expect to put in here. But the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, yeah, this deserves to be here. It's a film that capped off a trilogy. It's War for the Planet of the Apes.
Ooh, a good pick.
One of the best revenge thrillers of the decade, and the movie that finally, capped off a solid trilogy, gave us Andy Serkis as a full-blown intelligent Caesar avenging his family. And it's beautifully acted. It's dramatic. I think the The finale like makes sense for Caesar's story. And I loved it. I don't think that film got enough attention. I thought it was beautiful. It was up for visual effects, but that's it. And all three of those are fantastic, but War really changed the game for me and showed me what Andy Serkis is capable of, not just as a mocap guy, but as a like legitimate, fantastic actor. And I think that film could have had a chance here.
I like that. I like that a lot. It's a good call. Yeah, it's awesome. I remember every second of seeing that in theaters for sure. Holy shit. This year I remember just fondly going to the theater a lot, and some of these were so breathtaking, like Baby Driver, so badass in theaters. The first It came out in 2017, just fucking nutty. This year's really cool. And I just think they could have chosen so many interesting films and just went kind of safe some areas. The one I would add, because I simply want to make this the most weird group ever, would be Yorgos Lanthimos' Killing of a Sacred Deer. This is a uber dark movie that I think if you really pay attention, I think it's a story that can just grab anybody by the nuts, and I think not all of Yorgos stories will always like land, but I think if you're really paying attention, I think Killing of a Sacred Deer has kind of a classic, just creepy horror element to it that I would have loved to see get rewarded here and recognized here at the Academy Awards. But there's plenty of movies from this year that I also would have liked to see get a shout, but that's the one that would kind of make this whole category real weird.
I was wondering when Yorgos was going to show up.
There he is.
That was an interesting, weird, creepy movie. Good choice. Definitely would have been cool to see that stand up against the rest of these films.
Yeah, just to spice things up. I think a more like textbook, like Detroit, Catherine Bigelow's Detroit. Why is that not there? Like, that makes no sense. I think Joseph Kosinski's Only the Brave. Josh Brolin and Miles Teller playing firemen. Yeah, like what? Like, why is that? That's an awesome movie. Why is it not up? Blade Runner 2049. There's plenty of movies that could be there and just weren't. The Meyerowitz story, by Noah Baumbach. Just great stuff. I like this year a lot. I just think this group left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I think so. And I know you've never really been a fan of The Shape of Water. So what do you think deserved to take Best Picture here?
Easy money. Probably the best horror movie of the decade. Get Out. No brainer to me. Get Out goes along with a lot of things we've said of just, I mean, in the 4 years it's existed, I've seen it probably 40 times already. I could just watch it over and over and over. Knows exactly what it's doing. Has one of Daniel Kaluuya's best performances of his career so far. One of Catherine Keener's best performances. Those two really blow me away in that movie. And it's horror. So anytime I'm able to see a horror movie inside of a Best Picture category, it's going to be hard not to side with it. And Get Out is, to me, like what it is for this decade is on the same kind of level as like what The Exorcist was for the early 70s, or what Silence of the Lambs was for the early 90s. I think we missed a big one here. I think Get Out, if it would have won, would have just been so fucking cool for the legacy of it.
I've thought about this one a lot, and my first instinct was Three Billboards, and that's a solid film. But the more I thought about it, the more I couldn't, ignore it, and I too would go Get Out.
I think Three Billboards is the typical what you and I are geared to think as a Best Picture winner.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're just putting our shit down and we're saying what's the best movie, I think it's Get Out. I think it's out of this group. I think it's Get Out for sure.
I agree with you that a Best Picture win for that film would have been game changing and would have really set a whole new standard of what the Oscars are willing to, reward in this decade. And God, it is such a good movie. It really is a solid, well put together movie. And
hour and 40-minute, just fucking Jordan Peele just shit out a diamond. It's just like perfect. Thank you. And then he followed it with Us, which I'm not too fond of. I think it's okay. I think Lupita should have won the Oscar for it, but Get Out is iconic, and it's going to be iconic forever. Shape of Water is not.
I agree, and I'm a huge Guillermo fan. But yeah, this was I'm happy he won director. I'm glad Guillermo has an Oscar, but picture, I don't think so.
Yeah, no way, Jose. I love talking about that year though. Specifically, I think it's fascinating. 2018, we got Green Book that won. You know how I feel about that one. I'm not too fond of Green Book. I think it's okay. I think it's pretty average. This 91st Academy Awards, just a fascinating group. I've said that multiple times, but this one might be the most fascinating out of all the ones we'll talk about. I mean, you have Green Book, kind of again something that we're geared to think is what an Oscar movie is. We have a through and through superhero movie. Spike Lee is here. We have a movie about Queen. We got Yorgos Lanthimos, who's actually here. We got Alfonso Cuarón making a movie straight up in Spanish. A movie that's been made 5 times or something. Star is Born, and then Adam McKay back at it with Vice. This is just a bonkers group. Any of these did you see for the first time? No, you saw all these in theaters, huh? And then Roma on Netflix. Yeah. So yeah, we saw some of these together. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So actually, Green Book. No, I saw that by myself. Black Panther, that came out when we were working together, so I saw that just randomly. Black Klansman, I saw. Oh no, I saw. Wait, The Favorite?
No, I saw that with my mom.
Who did I see The Favorite with? Did I see that by myself? Oh boy, what's wrong with me? Oh no, I think I did. Then Roma, I watched at home. You're right. We didn't see any of these together. Just we saw them around the same time.
Yeah, I remember working a few of these.
Oh, good God. I remember working almost all of these. Yeah. I especially remember working Black Panther just over and over and over. And Star is Born over and over.
Oh, yeah.
Good shit. What would you take out of here?
This was really hard because I really liked all of these. And I had to go with my gut. There's just a film that I loved the first time I watched it because I was kind of drawn in and, kind of tricked by how much I love the music. But on subsequent viewings, it just hasn't held up, and that's Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's my pick too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I think it's just, the fact that Rami Malek's not singing. I think it's poorly edited. And I just...
all the Bryan Singer stuff, him being, it's not, just not a good production overall. Yeah.
No, and that's regrettable because, I am a huge Queen fan and I really, I went in loving this movie, but I watched it again and I'm like, this really has some problems. And that's...
Yeah. Definitely. That was kind of easy for me to take out. It's definitely the weak link out of here. Just doesn't belong in a Best Picture category. 2018, there's a lot of personal favorites I know right off the top of my head for both of us. What'd you pick?
There was no other film. I mean, Hereditary, without a doubt.
Same. We're both on the same page here. Take Bohemian out. Put another one of the best horror movies of the decade in there.
Yeah. And I'm going to go one further. It should have won.
Wow. I love that. State your case.
Hereditary is not just one of the greatest horror films of all time. It's one of the greatest films of the decade. And a solid family drama, a freakish horror film, all put together in this beautiful gumbo of fright and crying. And it's every actor is amazing. Toni Collette gives it her all. I feel like I've sung this film's praises more than any film on all of our podcasts. Hereditary comes up randomly from time to time. And
yeah.
It's a beautiful movie and gets more terrifying every time I watch it, but I always see something else in it. And I think it's a horror film that could have, a tried and true straight up horror film that nobody could call a thriller, that could have taken Best Picture and really changed the way horror is viewed by the Academy. And that would have been beautiful.
God, I wish I lived in that world. Fuck. I love Hereditary with all my heart. Yeah, I think it is the movie we've talked about most as friends. I think probably The Shining and Hereditary are the two movies we've talked about the most just as friends. It's just been brought up. And that's got to tell you something. I came this close to doing the same thing. But I really, really, really love Roma. Really, 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 really love that movie. And I think it might be Alfonso Cuarón's masterpiece. And I kind of like when that movie wins. We talked about how that didn't, like, Django might not be Tarantino's masterpiece, but it would be cool if he would have won for it. Well, this could have been all, we could have gotten all eggs in one basket. He won director, but it would have been really cool if Roma would have just did what Parasite did and just kind of swept up all of those, because it is just a fucking clinic in filmmaking. If you watch Alfonso Cuarón, kind of the way his career has gone from one of my favorite movies of the 2000s, Y Tu Mamá También, to fucking Harry Potter, Children of Men. He just one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me, bang, 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 and just has a good attitude the whole time, does his job the right way the whole time. Directed my favorite Harry Potter movie of the whole bunch. We already talked about Gravity from 2013 a bit. And then, and Roma is just out of this world. And the decision to make it in black and white is something that I think seriously hinders it from people watching it.
That sucks.
And it sucks. But that is one of the things I thought about when picking this movie, like what should have won. I really did think about what movie here, someone's probably more inclined to rewatch, maybe even Black Klansman, or especially Black Panther or A Star Is Born over Roma. But that's just not true for me. That's just not true for me. And I hope other people feel the same way. I know you do. I hope people just don't give a shit what stigma is around something, or if it's got subtitles or this and that. Just straight up, which piece of art floored you the most? And Roma, out of this group, is the one that kind of just shatters me. Hereditary is probably my favorite movie from 2018, right? My favorite, like you said, it's a horror movie, drama, family drama, just kind of master filmmaking, directorial debut from Ari Aster, all these special things around it. And Toni Collette maybe doing the best work of her whole career. All those things are going for it. And so either one, Roma or Hereditary, would have been so fucking special, for sure.
I hate that there's a stigma around black and white films and films with subtitles, that people are just like, they see it as boring or foreign. And that's fucked up. Art is art. Like, I don't even see, I don't see the black and white anymore. I just see, am I watching a good movie? It doesn't even register to me anymore.
Exactly. Just not even something I really ponder at all. Yeah. I just don't care. But I know people do, and that sometimes affects the way I think about what should win or what should have won, and this and that, those kind of silly conversations. But when I look within myself, Roma from 2018 should have taken home the Best Picture prize. But of course, Hereditary, not going to complain about that.
Yeah. I mean, to say A, I watch everything with subtitles anyway. And B, if I were to say, I don't want to watch black and white films, that's 50, 60 years worth of film I'm just discounting for no valid reason. And that's fucking stupid.
Yeah. I've met a guy. I didn't meet him. didn't really feel like meeting him. I heard him saying that he doesn't watch movies. It's at some restaurant. I can't remember. He says, I don't watch movies that are pre-2000. You're like, oh my God.
What the fuck? Why are you even bothering?
Yeah, exactly. You don't care about movies? Yeah, what are you talking about? So there's people out there that just have all these like just walls up. And I just can't imagine. I can't imagine hindering myself from watching art. I can't imagine it.
People like that are the reason we can't have nice things.
Yeah. You know what is nice? You know what is nice? Is when Parasite won last year. That shit was fucking dope. I hope something really cool happens today at the 93rd Academy Awards. But I want to talk about last year. Bong Joon-ho had his day. Parasite won. You and I watched these live together. And we, did our predictions and everything. It was very exciting. We saw all the films, prior to the ceremony, a lot of them in theaters. And we both were like, we think all these movies are good. Some of them are fucking great. But 2019, you and I both have multiple times called the best year of the decade as far as the Oscars go.
Yeah, these films are phenomenal. 3 of these we actually did see at the theaters together.
Yes, this year we saw a lot more. This is when we were like really doing the podcast, doing Filmgazm and trying to do bonus episodes talking about some of these movies. And you and I were both away from Alamo Drafthouse. So that's where we were going to hang out, and then going to Embassy and Bijou. And let's go down the line. Parasite I saw at the Quarry here in San Antonio. They have a theater. Where did you see that?
I saw Parasite at Drafthouse Park North by myself after work.
Yeah, that sounds like a fantastic day. How about 1917?
I saw that one at Embassy with my mom. I think that was the first film I saw at Embassy, or one of the first.
Wow. Yeah, I saw that at Embassy as well with some of my family. Ford vs. Ferrari, I saw with my dad at Embassy.
I saw that at our Drafthouse with my mom and I think my cousin.
Yeah. Irishman, I watched that on Netflix at home.
I watched that. All right. So when I watched that on Netflix, my mom and my grandma and my aunt, I think, were in Germany visiting relatives. And like the time difference is like, flipped. So like I was watching it 3-4 in the morning, and it was like 8-9 o'clock in the morning. They were just getting up. So I called them halfway through and was like, hey, how's Germany? And they're like, why aren't you asleep? And I'm like, I'm neck deep in a Scorsese epic. I can't go to sleep.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Yeah. I'm watching the fucking Irishman. Jojo Rabbit. We saw this one together at Bijou, I believe.
Yes, we did. That was a good day.
Yes. Joker. Drafthouse?
Yeah, Drafthouse with you and a few of your friends.
That's correct. Little Women. I saw that one with my mom.
I saw that with my grandma.
Very nice. Very nice. Marriage Story. That was at home on Netflix.
Yep.
And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, we also saw with my girlfriend and one of my buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss going to the theater left and right for awesome movies every weekend. Holy shit. That'll be back soon. Well, let's dig in. What would you take out of here?
That was a difficult decision. This was a great year. Oh my God. But honestly, The Irishman did not live up to my expectations. I thought, it did not need to be almost 4 hours long, and it could have been trimmed down. And I thought for what it was, it could have been better. So that's the one I took out.
Yeah, same. I thought it was down to that Joker for sure to take out. Irishman got some great stuff in it, but I'm with you. The runtime, the screenplay, got to be cut down, and the whole de-aging thing just did not work. Just did not work. On a surface level, just didn't look good. Affected the movie's product value, in my opinion, and took me away, distracted me, made me laugh a few times when I wasn't supposed to laugh. Joe Pesci doing really good stuff in this movie. That's probably what I still think about the most. But overall, not a Best Picture nominee for me. I really think Scorsese is that big of a name where people are sometimes just fooled.
I agree. That's how I felt about Silence a few years ago.
I like some of that one but I also love stuff that just dives deep into religion. So that's kind of up my alley anyway. Like First Reformed. I almost brought up First Reformed on this project. I love shit that attacks that kind of stuff.
I've been an atheist my whole life, so I've never really had a connection to religion, but I totally get, why you can kind of see something in that.
Also, another reason why Terrence Malick is interesting. He's a guy who lived in Texas and definitely had some religion stuff in play as a kid. But yeah, I kind of knew we were gonna be on the same page here. I thought we'd both go Joker or both go Irishman.
Yeah, I think I think Al Pacino is fantastic in this. He was for me the standout. But one big issue with the de-aging is like, yeah, you can make them look 20, but they're still gonna move like 80-year-old men because that's who they are.
Exactly, looked ridiculous. Fucking yeah, that's just not for me. Out of this jam-packed year, what would you put in? To make this group more interesting? Take Irishman out. What do you got?
Now I know you think I'm gonna go Avengers Endgame here, but I'm not.
Well, no. I thought you were gonna go Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame for those 3 years. I thought you were gonna do those three, but no.
I kind of like that Marvel doesn't have Oscar attention beyond visual effects. At this point, I'm kind of like, you know what? It's mine. Belongs to me. Like I'm enjoying these regardless of who the fuck gives them Oscars. Like this is mine.
Well, yeah. I mean, they don't give a shit either. They're laughing to the goddamn bank every day.
Yeah, exactly. So
they're like, hey, our TV show Falcon Winter Soldier makes more money than any of your fucking movies. Yeah.
Oh my God. So I went with a film that got completely shut out unjustly, should have gotten a few nominations, and that is Uncut Gems.
Yes.
Just a phenomenal movie about the stupidest man on earth making the worst decisions ever, coming out on top and still losing everything. The perfect Adam Sandler drama. Yeah, could not say enough about this movie. I really wish this had gotten a little bit more attention.
Yeah, this would make the Best Picture group fucking sing. It would make it. It would define 2019 in such a different way too if Uncut Gems is there, because that is a movie for the people. People love Uncut Gems. That shit when it went on Netflix, it just fucking bang bang bang. Like everybody was talking about Uncut Gems again after a lot of us had already seen it in theaters. And yeah, I thought about that movie long and hard. And Sandler getting shut out has got to stop.
I remember that was the weirdest movie going experience I've ever had, because it was a packed house. And
yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
There was a scene, I think it was the scene where Sandler's girlfriend starts playing with herself or something. And the two people sitting next to me got up and fucking left. They walked out. And I was like, well, that's great. More room for me. But I was like, are you serious? Like, did you not watch a trailer for this? Like, why are you here? This is a raw fucking crime thriller. Why else? Like, what did you expect? Fucking Grown Ups 3? Fuck off.
Yeah. Definitely fuck off. Pay attention. Pay attention to the movie world, or you're gonna get fucked in the ass, especially these days. Filmmakers are not messing around. The Safdies are not messing around. I almost brought up Good Time for 2017. Safdies are a whole other animal. Did you hear Benny Safdie is like really starring in Paul Thomas Anderson's new movie?
Oh yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. That's a dream. I can't. The fact that a Paul Thomas Anderson movie is going to be competing at the 94th Academy Awards makes me very, very happy. And very, very happy.
We're going to get to cover that whole fucking race on the sneak peek.
No, I know. All I need is a new PTA to talk about for the whole fucking year.
We might have a new Scorsese too. He's finally ramping up production on the film he's been working on.
They started filming that one with Jesse Plemons and Leo. From what I've read about that, set like in Oklahoma. I'm all in. I'm all in. There's been a lot of really cool news. It's almost too much because now they're starting to realize, okay, we got to start making moves now on what we're going to do with these movies that we haven't put out yet, that we got to put out so we can start making new stuff and putting out new shit and get back on a calendar. it's bonkers. I love that pick though, man. Uncut Gems. I'll never forget seeing that one. I saw that at Embassy. Nobody walked out, but you could sense a uncomfortable, kind of vibe going on, and I was just fucking grinning ear to ear the whole time. I thought it was great. Kevin Garnett, I thought was wonderful in that movie. For him and Adam Sandler to kind of team up, it was like a dream of mine that I didn't know could happen. So really cool. I think you know where I'm going here. I feel very strongly about Trey Edward Schultz, Waves from 2019. What a tough movie. I thought about The Lighthouse for a long time. I think that's one of the best horror movies of the past decade as well. But Waves is my favorite movie from 2019. And I think it kind of embodies a lot of like what the Oscars are all about and has some similarities to movies that have been nominated in the past. For whatever reason, there are films that just go under some sort of radar. They don't quite get the cultural acclaim that something like Midsommar does, where people are just kind of won't shut the fuck up about it to where it's almost annoying. But it also doesn't get the kind of love, from the awards circuit, awards season. Doesn't get either, so it just kind of gets caught in no man's land. And I think that's what happened to Waves. I think it wasn't marketed properly, maybe, or I'm just not quite sure. Or maybe people just didn't want to see it. I thought the trailer was extremely captivating, and I was all in right away. And then after seeing it, I was just me and one lady in the theater, just me and one other lady. She walked out about halfway through.
Oh my God.
She walked out. Spoiler alert. She walked out the very middle scene when Kelvin Harrison's character kills his girlfriend. She left when that happened. And so then it was just me in the theater. And I'll tell you, I felt like I was just kind of sinking into, I don't even know what, like I was just underwater. The second half of that movie, it's so fucking breathtaking. And just does not let off the pedal at all. When you think, oh, the tone of it's a little bit lighter, but it just makes you kind of swim in your own, you're just kind of thinking about all these huge, massive questions. And watching Taylor Russell, the second half of the film, her and Lucas Hedges, is just as daunting as the first half. I've watched this movie so many times. I feel very strongly about it. Wouldn't pick it to win, but I do wish that it would have gotten a little more love. Same thing for Uncut Gems. You just wish it gets those little recognition points, and Waves just got zero throughout like every award organization just didn't really care for it. With that being said, love that movie. I don't think it should have won. What would you pick to win?
I think we're both in agreement here that Parasite deserved this one.
I'm not.
Really?
Parasite is great. Love it to death. There's no way you can take it away exactly, but I think the strongest movie is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think it might be. I think along with Inglourious Bastards, I think is his best movie. It's perfect. It's a perfect film made by one of the perfect filmmakers in our eyes, especially from like an American perspective at the Oscars. It just seems so interesting that he didn't win for that one. Parasite's great. Fantastic stuff. Bong Joon-ho was overlooked for far too long. And it's really cool that not only did the Best Picture, but he got to keep going up on stage. And that was really cool to see his bushy hair and his glasses and see his smile of just being elated to be there. His gratitude to get the awards is really cool. And so there is no like, oh, fuck that shouldn't have won. But I think going toe to toe, I think Once Upon a Time is the stronger movie.
Well, first off, I can't believe you're going to make me argue against Tarantino. And B, I like that picture after the Oscars where Bong Joon-ho is making 2 Oscars kiss.
Yeah, so good.
He's just like
So good
in his own little world. He can't believe he's walking away with 4 fucking Oscars.
Yeah.
But Parasite is a beautiful, perfectly constructed gem of a movie that comes around once in a generation. That nothing else like Parasite exists. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is fun and it's enjoyable, but I don't see it winning. Whereas Parasite, the fact that it did win means so much to the future of the Academy and the future of film, really. Plus, it's so good. Parasite is rewatchable as fuck. It's so good. And
agreed.
Yeah, I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I really do. But Parasite made something click in me that has not turned off. And that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, totally agree. Can't take that away. And my main thing about it is like, yes, I'm glad Parasite won. It's probably better that it won for the Oscars' sake and for Americans' ideas about what the Oscars are. But if in my heart of hearts, if we're going straight up best movie, the way we've just kind of discussed and how hard it is to do that and set aside your biases and set aside, well, this affected it. What is the best? I think Once Upon a Time is just untouchable. I think it's perfect. I think so many people disagree with me, and disagree with both of us because we both love Once Upon a Time. They're both, it's a 10 out of 10 kind of movie, and there's people who hate this movie. Think it's just silly as fuck. They think it's one of Tarantino's worst films, and I don't stand for that at all. And while Parasite is pretty much, and from what I've read and seen, has pretty much gone unscathed. Everybody loves it. So for that reason, yes, it makes sense that it won. But in my mind, Once Upon a Time is just a perfect movie.
Well, I got no argument against that.
There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing, man. This is one of those years where these two are so goddamn good. I would call it the No Country There Will Be Blood syndrome. Like, it's okay. Either one is fine.
Do you think we'll ever, in the history of the Oscars, see a Best Picture tie?
No. There's no way. So they'll figure out a way to break that tie before we know what's up. Yeah.
We got a Best Actress tie once. Like, I don't know.
I know. Long time ago, though. 60s. Yeah.
I don't know. Cool stuff.
It would be cool. Yeah, man. I love that we go off with a bang. Where you have to go against Tarantino. standing up for Bong Joon-ho. They both are wonderful filmmakers that have been at it for a long time. So either way, what's cool about that is that it was a good show. Even if Jojo Rabbit would have won, if Marriage Story would have won, I would have been totally okay.
Well, I like that everything got a little something. Except The Irishman. I don't think that won anything.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, because Brad Pitt won the Oscar like when he set foot on the screen for everybody in July. He had already won it, so
yeah.
there's no taking that one away from him.
Fantastic. You want to recap?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go down just year by year. What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So I'll start 2010. I would take out Winter's Bone, put in Blue Valentine, and Social Network win.
2010, I would take out Winter's Bone, put in The Town, and True Grit to win.
Very nice. 2011, I would take out The Help, put in A Separation, and I think A Separation should have won.
I would take out The Tree of Life, put in Warrior, and I think Moneyball deserved that win.
Fair enough. Such a good movie. 2012, I would take out Les Miserables, put in The Master, and I think The Master probably should have won.
I take out Beasts of the Southern Wild, put in Seven Psychopaths, and I give Best Picture to Django Unchained.
Ooh, very nice. Yeah. So good. We We got 2013. I would take out American Hustle, put in Fruitvale Station, and then I think 12 Years a Slave got the win and should have.
I take out American Hustle, put in Blue Ruin, and I give Best Picture to Philomena.
Hell yeah. I love that. That's such a cool call. 2014, I would take out American Sniper. I'd put in Girlhood, and I think Whiplash definitely should have taken the win.
I take out American Sniper, put in Interstellar, and I too give the win to Whiplash.
Very nice. 2015, I would take out Bridge of Spies, put in Sicario, and I think they got it right with Spotlight.
I would take out The Big Short, put in Inside Out, and give Best Picture to The Revenant.
Solid. Love the Inside Out. Shout out. 2016, I would take out Lion. I would put in Patterson, and I think they also got it right here with Moonlight.
I would take out Arrival, put in Split, and give Best Picture to Hacksaw Ridge.
Very nice. 2017, take out Call Me By Your Name. I would put in the wild card Killing of a Sacred Deer, and I think Get Out definitely should have taken this.
I would take out Lady Bird, put in War for the Planet of the Apes, and I too think Get Out deserved the win.
Hell yeah. 2018, I believe we both said Bohemian Rhapsody to get the hell out of here. We both put in Hereditary, and I said Roma for the win.
Yep. Take out Bohemian Rhapsody, put in Hereditary, but I would give Hereditary the win.
Beautiful. And last but not least, the 92nd Academy Awards. I would take out The Irishman, put in Waves, and I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood should have won.
And I would take out The Irishman, put in Uncut Gems, and I think the Academy got this right with Parasite taking the win.
Very, very nice. Oh, man. That was an absolute blast. If you're still with us, thanks for hanging in there. We love doing these kind of projects where we can kind of throw everything out on the table. I feel like we got to talk about so many fucking movies.
So great.
And there's some surprises there. Also some stuff that we just both kind of knew about each other. And that's some of the fun is that anticipation.
Hell yeah. This was so much fun. I love doing shit like this. It changes up the week, gives me something to prep for. And it's always a surprise. That's the best.
Exactly. And today is the Oscars, right? And next week, I want to do a movie from today's ceremony. We got to do a movie from today's ceremony. I'm really hoping it gets Thomas Vinterberg a Best Director win. I don't think it is, but it will probably win Best International Feature Film, whatever the fuck it's called these days. I really want to talk about Another Round next week. It's one of my very favorite movies from the past year or so. From the COVID, movie season, it's one of my favorites for sure. And I know you haven't seen it yet. And so I want to do it sooner than later. I want to do it next week. I want to give the 93rd Academy Awards, not only tomorrow are they going to get their own whole fucking show on sneak preview, I want to also give it a week to breathe. And next Oscar Sunday for episode 48, Jesus, it'll be Another Round. 2020, Thomas Vinterberg, Mads Mikkelsen, buckle up, come back next week after the Oscars have happened and we take some time to think about it.
I think this is an excellent choice. I have deliberately held off on watching this one so I can have my first reactions for next week's show. So excited to do our post-Oscars breakdown on the sneak preview tomorrow. Wednesday, Caleb and I are bringing you Cabin Fever on the Filmgazm podcast. And, of course, the Giggle Guys, whatever they're cooking up. We never know.
Yeah, we never know on Friday. Friday for the Giggle Guys is just has become a total wild card in our kind of rotation, and I fucking love it. They just did Pop Star on Friday. Hilarious movie that I kind of forgot about. They reminded me of some things that I just was almost, I was literally laughing out loud thinking about that fucking movie.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I saw Pop Star, but you don't see a lot of pop culture characters with the name Connor, so I latch on to those guys.
That's fantastic.
Oh, this was fun. Yeah, in a few hours we will be watching the Oscars, and I cannot fucking wait. It's Super Bowl time.
Yeah, it's definitely our Super Bowl Sunday, Oscar Sunday, a day where we hope that there's really good decisions made, and there's also some fun speeches, but we're also interested in how Steven Soderbergh is going to kind of run this whole thing. So yeah, today is very exciting.
And regardless, however upsetting the winners are, a lot of films are about to become a permanent part of movie history and Oscar history, and that is exciting to us.
It's very exciting, and it's also a way we can pinpoint what we want to do on this show. Because we're going to cover another round. Eventually, we're going to cover a bunch of the movies from 2020 and 2021. So, I can't wait, man.
Fuck yeah. Thanks for listening to this one. This one was very cool and very fun, and we will see you next Sunday.